Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Under One Roof podcast presented by Fifth Color. I'm here at Fifth Color Studios with Ashley and Pat.
Hello.
Toodles.
Let's dive into it. All right. The NBA preseason is underway and the regular season is almost here. The league has updated its app, and like many other brands, Gen Z was top of mind during the redesign. The app was built in partnership with Microsoft, its cloud and AI partner, and features similar aspects to TikTok, including vertical videos, for you scrolling page, and live streams meant for content that kind of features this behind the scenes video style. What do you guys think about this style for a sports app, and how else does TikTok's user experience kind of inspire brands?
With this merger, the NBA needed to up their technology. They're a super global game, and now a lot of their superstars aren't from America.
Mm-hmm.
You got Giannis, Luka, Nikola Jovic. If I'm saying that right, hope I'm not butchering his name. But these are guys that are from all around the country, so starting to get a lot more fans that are in different places. So you want to have an app where everything is. You want to have an app where you can buy merch, you can buy tickets, you can buy um, games, you can see the playoffs, you can see your favorite team every single game. So they're trying to drive everybody to one app instead of having all these different apps or these different ticket sales, so that the user experience could be better, which is one thing. And also having the TikTok algorithm, which is the best algorithm out
Mm-hmm.
there. Everybody knows that. To personalize them, which would be a lot easier to do because there's only 32 teams, or say 50 really good players in the NBA. So it'll be really easy to, track them in the app and see what they like.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think the part that I like the most is that NBA ID rewards program that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
Just solely for the fact of getting data. I think they're being really smart, kind of bringing everything into one spot, like Pat, you said, because they're able to have so much more rich data, which I think is really important. Because actually, this past July, streaming services actually outperformed both cable and broadcast TV for the first time ever. So you're not really getting your viewership ratings like you did anymore. There's a big disruption with streaming services. So pulling everything into your own platform is really helpful to understand who's even consuming your content.
Absolutely. And I back to your point, Pat, about the TikTok. I think it's so funny because we talk about Gen Z being these like digital natives, quick to adapt to change, blah blah blah. But then we love what's familiar to us, and I think this style, this user experience is familiar, and so we'll love it. And I think it's a really smart move by the NBA. They're kind of taking an approach of like, don't be the smartest guy in the room, copy the smartest guy in the room, and that's kind of what they've done. I'm excited to use it throughout the season. My brother works for the Bucks and I go to a lot of games, so I'm excited to kind of keep up to it and actually use it now.
Yeah. I think one big component that we might be missing here is the other partner in this,
Mhm.
and that's Microsoft, who's competing with Amazon and Apple. Amazon and Apple, as you know, Amazon has Thursday Night Football, Apple has the halftime show.
Mhm.
So Microsoft, who's been partnering with the NBA like a little bit before the pandemic, has been waiting for their coming out party, and I think this is very good. And they kind of went past the streaming part. They like, we're not just going to stream like Amazon. We're going to go all the way, dive into this, because tech and sports right now, I mean, it's just going to keep partnering. There's going to be more and more. I'm sure the MLB will have a partnership very soon. It's going to be a big thing.
That's so true.
Yep. And to that point too, just the consumable content that they're able to put on that platform compared to, you have to stream the full game in order to see everything. You can actually get little short clips, highlight reels basically that you can just keep flipping through. That's awesome.
So much more engagement. And I also think we live in a world right now that we are always multitasking. Like I'm always, when I'm watching something, also using my phone to do something else on it. So it's kind of a great way to capture people and users beyond the big screen and on their mini screen as well.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, never did I think I'd be talking about Kim Kardashian for work, but here we are. Kim K is recently under fire by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, for not disclosing her compensation for a social post. Kim partnered with a crypto company, Ethereum Max, and failed to publicly disclose that she was paid for promoting the crypto firm. The post was on Instagram in the summer of 2021 and linked directly to the crypto brand's website to purchase the digital currency. What she failed to share is that she was paid $250,000 for the post. The penalty? $1.26 million. She agreed to cooperate and the ongoing investigation, and she's not going to promote crypto assets for the next 3 years. So I know this type of money isn't a big deal to Kim K, but thinking about other influencers who don't have this type of financial backing, it has to be scary. So I also want to add that she did put hashtag ad, but the SEC found this insufficient. So what do you guys think this does for other influencers in the investment and financial space?
I mean, they definitely have to be cautious, but I honestly think it's the right move because so along with Kim K, Paul Pierce and Floyd Mayweather were also sued. And really the argument is that their status or who they are inflated the value of that crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And really as an influencer, you have to take partial responsibility for the content that you're putting out. And you'd have to, like if I'm Kim K, I have to assume that people are really going to take me seriously when really the crypto wasn't that great to
Right.
begin with. So I personally think it's a great move to kind of monitor this and restrict what people can do in this space.
Yeah, I agree. The investigation was easy. You can tell that Kim K knew the SEC rules, 100%, because the way she worded things. She said, "Oh, this is not my, personal thing. A friend referred this," and then she said hashtag ad at the end. You know the reading levels of most consumers is at an 8th grade level,
Right.
right? So by putting hashtag ad at the end and you're this big influencer does not mean anything. The SEC rules state that you have to say that you got paid. When in there does she say that she got paid in that post? You never said that. So by you saying that, if I'm a big Kardashian fan, I'm definitely going to invest in this because when I look at the Kardashians, when I look at Floyd Mayweather, if I look at Paul Pierce, I think money. I think these guys know what to do with their money.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't I follow what they're doing? So the first thing I'm going to do is go invest. I'm not looking at, oh, it says hashtag ad. Yeah, we can do that because we work in the marketing world and say, this says hashtag ad, stand away from it. This person's being paid to do that. But the regular person, no, that's definitely not enough.
Right.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
on the flip side, like thinking not just about the influencers and how scary it is for them, but in this instance, how scary it is for people consuming their content because they could lose a lot if they
Mm-hmm.
actually follow what Kim K is talking about potentially. So
Right.
yeah, I think it's scary in the case of what the consumer is getting as far as information.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as the influencer goes, if I was an influencer, I'd completely run from this
Mhm.
industry or this space because any partnership is going to be extremely scary. You feel like the SEC said they want the nature, the source, and the amount of compensation disclosed for any endorsement. So that's a lot of information you'd have to be adding to the post to even try to fit your voice and tone. I don't know how you could do that and do it correctly. And then the SEC also released a statement warning influencers about using social media to promote the purchase of stocks and other investments. So I just think all around, this probably isn't the space for influencers. And yeah, I think like you said, there's just a lot more to it when you're purchasing and or dealing with finances. And yeah, it's probably not the space for
That's
influencers.
what the SEC wants, though.
Yeah.
They want this to be so impossible that people don't post things like cryptos on their social media if you have a big influence over a big group of people.
Mm-hmm.
They want it to be impossible because if I post and say, hey, buy this new crypto, I also got paid $280,000 to post this hashtag ad. Do
Right.
you think my followers are going to go buy this?
Right.
So the SEC is making people put out that information because they just want to nip it in the butt.
Yeah.
It's going to be super impossible for to do it. And having someone like Kim Kardashian, who's known even by people that don't like her, um, it is known is I mean, the biggest marketing tactic to get your rules out there to say, hey, nobody's above the law. Like, look what we did here.
Right.
Make you, the 1.26 is make you pay back what you got paid and $1 million fine. Like you said, I don't know. She's lucky she's a billionaire.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
what if that's somebody, you know, 260,000, they make $3 million a year.
Right.
And that's, you know, a third of their profits gone. So
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, even if you just think about the impact that could have on the market. Like
Mhm.
me as a consumer, I don't really want Kim K influencing anything within the stock market because think of how drastically that can make shifts. and,
Right.
Yeah.
like, that's not something I want.
yeah, look what that can open up.
Yep.
Now, if the SEC never made that rule, now LeBron, now politicians, now anybody can endorse whoever has the most money, whatever crypto has the most money. Like their original investor, that original investor can just be like, oh, I get LeBron, I'll get Messi, I'll get Serena Williams. Just, hey, I'll pay you this to say you use this crypto.
Right.
For sure.
And there you go.
I could definitely see a case for, like we talked about last week, micro influencers in this space. I think that would be the safest way to go because if you're a micro influencer, you actually have a lot of knowledge in the space. Like it's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have a better understanding of like their actions and how it would have impacts on the market itself as well. So
Right. That's what I would say is like more of the genuine advice, like
Mhm.
less of the I got paid to promote this and more of the like, here's the moves I would make this week or whatever. You know what I mean? More like just genuine TikTok advice.
really curious how this passed Mama Chris's desk and actually made it
Yeah.
on Kim's feed.
Yeah. That's so true.
That's true.
Yeah. The devil works hard, but Chris works harder. And I don't know. She
100%.
missed this one. She must have been on vacation.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to play a quick game. What?
I love games.
Oh. You scared me. I was like, what? But it's pertaining to brand loyalty. So I have weird brand loyalty for certain products, even some like subconscious. So I'll list the product and you guys tell me what brand you use and then we can see how they compare. All right. Deodorant.
Dove.
Degree or Dove.
Dove. Definitely Dove. So Ashley, it's actually really funny. We tried playing this game, just our agency, a while back, and you said Dove, and I was like, huh, I don't think I've ever used Dove. Literally went to the store that day, picked up Dove, and I will never go back.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Dove is good.
it's superior.
Very good. And they make the better one for women. And it's unfair.
Yeah.
Like that's the best deodorant. That light blue one. Oh man.
You can use it.
Yeah, oh,
There's no
yeah.
shame there.
No, there's
shame.
definitely no shame. I do use it.
Yeah.
No shame. Like, just as long as you got some cologne and kind of say, oh,
Yeah.
a little bit, you'll be all right. Yeah, definitely Dove. And it does matter if you try to go like lower or the cheaper or that's one thing that'll never be good sustainable. I'm sorry.
Seriously.
Yeah, I did try that. It gave me a rash everywhere.
Walking around smelling like aluminum foil is not good.
All right, toothpaste.
I don't have one. It just
Really?
whatever is the cheapest.
Oh my gosh.
Mm. Yeah, it matters.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be something like something enhancing has to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not Crest and Colgate, either or is fine with me.
I'm Crest. And I think this one's more subconscious for me because this is what I used growing up. It's like what my parents always bought. So I think that's just like that carried on into my adult life. But yeah, Crest all the way.
Yeah.
All right, paper towel.
Kirkland.
Oh.
Yes.
Does not matter at all.
Oh, I'm a big Bounty girl. I will pay extra. Give me the one ply. Like you're like looking through it. You're like it doesn't do anything for my counters. So I'm going Bounty all the way, spending that extra cash.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. If we talked about tissue, then that would definitely matter.
Oh, okay.
100% different.
Fair.
Yeah.
Tissue definitely matters, but
Yep.
paper towel, I'll take I do look for quality, but not so much for brand.
Mhm.
I'd say.
Mhm.
Sure. Peanut butter.
Skippy.
Me too.
Oh no.
Me too.
What did you just say?
Skippy all the way.
Are you
All
a
right.
Jeff guy?
All right, this was episode. What episode is this? We are. There's no way you like Skippy over Jif.
I'll say this. I personally don't really care. I'll get whatever is the cheapest. But my
Mhm.
husband is a Skippy guy.
Really,
Okay.
Yeah.
really.
I have had both, and I can't pinpoint what I like more about Skippy, but I'm a Skippy girl.
It's
Go in the kitchen.
smoother.
I have two jars of Skippy
Yeah.
in
I
our
saw
kitchen.
that in there.
Yeah.
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 That's not
Okay,
good.
let's hear your case.
For Jif,
Yeah.
it's Jif.
Enough said.
Not sponsored.
Hashtag
Period.
not ad. Come for me, SEC.
All right. Last but not least, ketchup.
I don't care. Whatever's cheap.
Heinz.
Heinz.
Easily.
Easily Heinz.
We had this conversation a long time ago. The first time I actually had to think of the competitors. I had to Google the competitors.
I
to
don't know the
Heinz.
competitors.
It's Hunt's.
Hunt's.
Is one. Damn, I forgot the other ones. Just not ketchup-y enough, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
According to our lead developer, our director of development, Jared, Quick Trip's ketchup is so good. And I looked when I was there because I was like, why is it so good? And I looked, it's Heinz.
Heinz. Everywhere is Heinz.
Yeah.
Ketchup packets. I don't know a time that I got a ketchup packet and it wasn't Heinz.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like at all. Culver, I'm pretty sure Culver's uses Heinz.
Yeah, they have the fancy ones so you like either squeeze or open.
Yes.
It's crazy. But yeah, speaking of Heinz, Heinz is rolling out a Halloween focus campaign, and it has its like limited time bottle called Tomato Blood Ketchup. So the bottles will be sold nationwide all through October, selling for $2.99. And I looked up the regular price for a Heinz bottle at Walmart for like a 20-ounce bottle was $2.56. So it's not that much more. It's basically just a different bottle. The brand is working with TikTok creator EJ Marcus. They might be one of my favorite TikTokers. Seriously amazing. Who's playing Toby, a vegetarian vampire. So we'll kind of show the commercial if we can at this point.
So good. My name is Toby, and I'm a vegetarian vampire. I drink Heinz tomato blood instead of human blood, which is something I encourage all vampires to consider. There's a lot of misconceptions around being a veggie vamp. Ugh, gross. I do have to drink like hundreds of bottles of tomato blood a week. Who ate my tomato blood? And you put it on potatoes? Those things grow in dirt. I know what you're thinking. Toby, you're a vampire. Draining humans of their eternal life force is what you're supposed to do. Well, a few hundred years ago, I was about to feast on this human. Then we started talking. Humans have made some really interesting things. Blackout curtains, sunscreen, tomato blood. To my fellow vampires, I say, when you think of humans more as friends, it's amazing what they can show you. I took him flying, which is actually just how I get around. So the next time you want to eat someone, I hope you'll reconsider and go vegetarian. I hope you'll... Seriously? On eggs? I hope you'll switch to Heinz tomato blood, because humans are people too.
So they're also leveraging billboards and QR codes for additional content. But what are your thoughts on this campaign and kind of taking it into the spooky season of October?
So spooky. I really like it. I think it's really fun, lighthearted. It's good content when you watch the campaign for it. So I really like that. I mainly am just curious who is going to buy it just because it's blood ketchup.
I know.
Like, would you guys purchase this?
I guess to answer that question, the only way I know how is like, it's nice because we just stated that I had to Google their competitors. It's nice when you have no competitors and you can just try stuff like this.
Right.
Because like you said, the bottle sounds like it's about 30 or 40 cents more.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if nobody they're competing against themselves. So they put out this spooky and somebody's going to see the spooky ketchup. Either their kids really, because it's probably for the kids more likely, or it's going to be maybe a big thing during the trick or treating.
Yeah.
Which I could see happening, you know.
Go to a house and you get a bottle of ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has like blood on it.
Yeah.
It's nice. It fits with the vibes. But again, they're competing against themselves.
That's so true. And
Yeah.
honestly, I was thinking about that. Like, if I needed ketchup and I saw, I'd understand like, oh, it's just a package, redesign right now, blah, blah, blah. But I would not even notice that it's 30 cents more.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't even know really. Like I said, I had to look up how much a 20-ounce bottle of ketchup even costs because it's so like, I need it. I'm not gonna not buy ketchup because, oh my God, it's 30 cents more. Like
Yeah.
I don't really like realize that. So yeah, so I think I would buy it, but I'm also kind of taking your approach, actually, like I'm not gonna run to the store to get that bottle.
Right.
So, but like you said, they're competing against themselves, so why not have a little fun with it?
Halloween's perfect. Usually you run out of your condiments towards the end of the month. Right there, you're in the store. Just got done shopping for some candy. You probably have your kid with you because they're getting their, costume from Walmart.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, "Hey, mom, I want the bloody kind."
Yeah.
I'm like, sure. Throw it in the basket.
Yep.
Yeah. And EJ Marcus is kind of, they have a solid following on TikTok, but some of the ads are really funny. I actually just saw one separate from that commercial, but that they go to a restaurant and they have the bloody ketchup fries or something, and the guy orders, his fries, and he has all these like extra condiments on it. EJ Marcus is like, I ordered mine. I ordered it with no fries, no onion, no pickles, and it's just like a tub of ketchup. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, geez.
So it's creative content, and it's like definitely different. It's out there. And yeah, I like the play on the spooky season.
Another micro influencer.
Yeah,
For sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Another micro influencer.
But speaking of, so we talk a lot about marketing directly to Gen Z, which this kind of fits that scenario, and all the changes that my generation has required from brands. I actually just wrote an article about it, and it's a lot. But what are the implications for brands if they only focus really hard on just Gen Z?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because Pat, when you were talking about this, you mentioned kids twice. And this is really hitting Gen Z, who probably most likely does not have children yet. So it's really probably missing out on those millennial moms who have kids that are going to want to buy this product. So I feel like they're setting themselves up well for the future. But what's going to happen right now in this current time if they're not actively marketing to millennials, to Gen X? I think it could have some implications, especially as we go into probably a recession period where, Gen Z, they're new to the job force, probably don't have a lot of financial backing to them.
Right.
So you got to still consider the people in the population who have financial backing.
Absolutely. It's actually like we're the generation who lives paycheck to paycheck when we first start out in our jobs, but we spend more on products because of certain aspects of them, sustainability being one of them. But it is facts right now. Like we are the youngest, we're the intro. Or like if they're gonna cut someone, it's gonna be those earlier, workers. So it's kind of a scary time for us, and we have expensive habits. So
I just feel like people attack Gen Z more because they're the more movable market. Like it's hard to move millennials. We grew up off a certain thing. Those things are still around. So it's a lot of brand loyalty that goes into those things. So if Heinz doesn't really have to worry about marketing to me because I'm still going to pick up Heinz, Heinz has to go to the younger generation and be like, these are the kids that kind of don't care about brands as much. They don't really, you see kids with, newer shoes. Like when I was growing up, it was like either Nikes, Jordans, Adidas, like to be very specific. Now it's like, Converse is in it, New Balance is coming back. So it's like more variety. So I feel like all these companies have to like reintroduce themselves to this next generation while they're growing up, just like they did us. Like when we were growing up, we were the focus, just like, oh, we give you this, that, and this. That way, when you grow up, this is all you remember. That's why.
Are you kind of saying like millennials and older generations kind of already have their brand loyalty?
Yeah.
Whereas Gen Zs are just starting to buy these products, and brand loyalty needs to be created.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I agree with that.
Yeah. They've already been. My generation's already been pounded. Like you got me. I'm loyal to you, Heinz.
Yeah.
You can move on to the next generation. There's no point of trying to sell me Heinz ketchup.
Buying power 2020, like there's a lot to focus on. There's a lot of other people other than Gen Z. So a campaign like this, like that doesn't really appeal to other generations. It's like, okay, like what are they going to do for the other generations? So I completely understand. And that's why I asked the question, because I mean, I love the shift in marketing, but that's because I'm part of that generation. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely, if I were to do this campaign different, I would definitely have different tiers to it. So I agree. I mean, strong, heavy focus on Gen Z. It's going to be important. but you can't lose sight of the people who are currently buying your product too.
Right.
So having some messaging that is geared towards moms, parents, and then Gen X also. So I would definitely make it multifaceted, not just, one generation and that's it.
Can I ask you one question though?
Yeah.
If Heinz never did anything for your generation ever again, would you stop buying Heinz?
I don't buy Heinz though.
But
That's the
what's the
thing.
product you're loyal to?
I'm not loyal to ketchup.
What's a product you're loyal to?
Well,
Not
Dove. We
loyal.
can say Dove.
Dove, yeah. Like if
If-
Dove was
if
only
Dove-
targeting Gen Z.
If Dove never marketed to you for the rest of your life, would you eventually say, you hit 35 and you'd be like, man, this has been 10 years and they still haven't gave me my commercial?
But if a different company started to, I maybe would. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
not
true.
super
Okay.
loyal to the point of like I'm never gonna switch
Okay.
my deodorant in my life.
Okay.
Mhm.
But how many people are like you, though? How many people are just like going,
No one. I'm just unique.
So unique. Sample size of one. No.
Yeah.
No, but that's a great point. I think there comes a time where it's like a competitor does enter the space, and like if you fall behind, like people lose brand loyalty. We always say like it's easier to lose loyalty than to gain loyalty. So I think keeping up is very
Right.
important. Very
Right.
important.
They invested all that money in us years ago.
Yeah.
Don't lose us now.
Right. Right.
like, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I might.
Take this bloody ketchup.
Again, doing something a little different this week for the Q&A section. So we've been working through a lot of restructuring and continuous learning, and we're reading some really helpful organizational structure books, and I'm taking a course for my MBA about managing in a dynamic environment. So instead of a question, each one of us are going to give kind of a brief description about something that we've learned this week. So Ashley, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, so mine actually came up this morning. I was listening to the On Purpose podcast with Jay Shetty because he had on Alex Cooper as a guest. So then I started listening to some of his other content. And his podcast is really about making wisdom go viral. And in this episode, he was actually talking about the difference between critically thinking and overthinking. And he had a really great stat about how much the average person processes a day. And it's actually 74 gigabytes of information a day. And to make it more consumable, he said it's the equivalent of 16 movies that your brain processes
God.
a day. So I thought it was a really important fact to really keep top of mind of like, sometimes you just need to shut your brain off for a little bit in order to not overload it.
Yeah. The other day I took a walk just like, I think it was like 2:30 p.m. I was like, I need a walk right now, because I think my gigabytes were just had their point. I was like, oh my God, I've been doing like so much today. I felt really productive, but I was like, I need a break.
Yeah. I mean, you can get such information overload. I know we're all like data here,
Right.
but sometimes you need to take a break too to synthesize everything that you're taking in and not overload yourself.
Yeah.
Which I think is really important with some of the things we're reading as an agency right now of how to quickly and be really agile when you're processing your data so you're not overloading yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So this week in my MBA class, which is called Managing in a Dynamic Environment, fits perfectly for our restructure, but I learned about affect, emotions, and moods. So affect is defined as like a broad range of feelings that people experience, and affect can be experienced in a form of emotions or moods, and they're two different things. So emotions are caused by a very specific event, whereas moods cause is kind of unclear, but they happen more often. So emotions are briefer in duration, kind of specific, come from a specific event, and then they're usually accompanied by like distinct facial expressions. And then moods are more general, positive, negative. They're not really indicated by a distinct impression, and then they're cognitive in nature. So diving kind of deeper into the emotions, one of the things that really stuck out to me, negative emotions are a lot stronger than positive emotions. And the Gottman marriage studies indicate that you need 5 positive interactions to balance 1 negative interaction. So there's definitely this like unevenness. And I know that was really popular, something we talked about in like customer service. Just that like 1 negative interaction could kind of ruin a customer's experience. They'll never come back. But it stinks because it's like 5 positive experiences could be ruined by 1. Like that, they need to balance each other out. And so just something to think about when you have, feedback too. I think it kind of ties in with that. It's like we need to balance out like the feedback we're giving, and just be cognizant of providing good feedback as well,
Yeah.
saying good job every now and then also giving constructive criticism.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Not only just for like our culture and working as a team, but also in marketing too. Like that 5 good experiences for 1 bad. I
Yep.
mean, it's really got some implications to think about.
Right. Exactly.
I like that. Okay, if you're a content creator, don't be afraid to niche down your content. And what I mean by that is if you're an exercise guru, right? And every day you're doing a different exercise, you're, showing people how to power clean. Then the next day you're outside running. And then the next day you're back inside and you're benching. Sometimes like people do too much stuff and they expand their stuff. But what if you really like running, right? I mean, you're afraid just to start a running podcast or running content. That person that does exercise and all that stuff, they're going to have probably more followers than you, but their followers are going to be sporadic because that follower is only here because he does, the benching, the powerlifting. This follower is only here because he does the running. This follower is only here because he's talking about dieting. But if you have a running podcast, maybe you only got 1,000 followers, but those 1,000 followers are with you throughout the way, and those 1,000 followers are going to take your suggestions. And if those 1,000 followers take your suggestions, that opens it up for bigger brand deals. That's why you see the fitness and the financial world, their CPM is higher, their brand deals are higher, they get paid more from YouTube than everybody because they have specific people. So if you're passionate about something and you're worried about losing followers or not having enough followers, just go with what you're good at and people will follow. Build your community. It's better to have 1,000 strong people than have 10,000 people that are just in and out of your content.
It's funny you talking about running influencers because I hate them. They make running look so easy.
Yeah.
They're like filming their little TikToks. They're like,
Yes.
mile 5. And they're like still smiling, barely dripping sweat. I'm like, mile 5, I would look like a tomato. I would look like Heinz Ketchup.
Mile 5, like mile 2.
Yeah, I know. Literally, I was like, why do they make it look so easy?
Yeah, I used to have a trainer that would make us run a lot of miles, and like during mile 4, he would start backpedaling to check on us to see how we're doing, and that will always make me stop. I just never do that again.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't backpedal, and I'm literally dying over here. Don't do that.
All right, 5 miles. We'll work up to 5 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
We'll get there.
I like that. Though. I like the quality over quantity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Toodles.